Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sporting Blizzard. Today is going to mainly be a draft video special. Going to talk about the NBA draft and the NHL draft a bit. But we're going to of course go with the NBA draft because it's a bit more newsworthy than the NHL draft. And the first overall pick was Zion Williamson. Zion, tremendous player. I see some people now being like, he's just Julius Randle that can jump. Listen, do we not all remember the hype? Let's face it. This dude is an athlete. Will he be a LeBron James? I don't know. Could he just be Ben Simmons? Just tremendous athlete. Can see the floor. But can't shoot. Absolutely. What's wrong with that? Let's just enjoy the hype. Let's not hammer him down. Zion is special. He's special. And everyone's going to look at him like, well, we now have to pick him apart now. Is he going to struggle his rookie year? Yes. He was playing against college kids last year. Now he's going to go play against NBA players. It's a bit of difference. Zion should be good. Is my pick for Rookie of the Year. The second pick, Ja Morant. Truthfully, did not watch many of his college games. But watched his March Madness games, and boy, were they exciting when he played. Besides that, Murray State sucked in general. Without him, I don't think they make the tournament. Joss could be something special. I don't know if he will be something special, but he very well could be. Good spot in Memphis. Memphis showed that they're ready to invest fully in him, trading away Mike Conley. So they need this to work out. Third pick, R.J. Barrett. R.J. was Zion's partner, and before the college season, was thought to be the number one pick. So, Knicks fans, don't worry too bad. Is Zion the more popular name? Yes. Could R.J. be the better player? Absolutely. I'm going to say Zion's going to be the better player just because he's a freakish athlete. But RJ could very well end up better than Zion. He's got a better drive skill set. And he's got a better three-point shot. Even though he shot a little bit lower percentage, he shot more threes. It's going to happen. Number 4, the Lakers took DeAndre Hunter, but is traded to the Pelicans, which is now traded to the Hawks. It just gets confusing from starting off at this point. DeAndre Hunter, someone who played good in Virginia, who I like the Hawks getting, good 3-and-D player most likely. Be very interesting to see the Hawks next year. I think they might sneak in the playoffs with John Collins, Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, and etc. We'll get to their later pick when it's their time. But I think they can get in the playoffs with that group, that young core. They need a superstar. They didn't have a superstar last time they were really in the playoffs. And that kind of bit them. Right now, they have their superstar in Trae Young. They need to build around him. They've got good draft picks. They got a lot of nice young players in John Collins, who I like. Kevin Waiter, I might be saying that name completely wrong, but he's a good too. DeAndre Hunter, he's very interesting prospect who I thought would go not in the top 5. I thought he'd be 6 or 7, but hey, 4 is not that bad. And with the 5th pick, Darius Garland. Now, I thought the Pelicans were going to keep the pick, and that's where I thought Garland was going to go. But when I saw the trades were happening, I was like, okay, I understand this. Garland's a good player. Would I have taken him that high? No. He's been injured in the past, and, well, I don't really trust injured players that much. I mean, he's got all the talent in the world, but if he's not on the court, no. I'm not taking you. But let's move on to one of the prospects I really liked in Jarrett Culver. Strictly because I fell in love with him watching Texas Tech in March Madness. And I know, you don't solely go off of a guy because of March Madness. But man, he was so fun to watch. I was ready to see him get drafted. And Suns technically own the pick. Technically he was drafted by Suns, but will be traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I like the move. I saw a lot of comps compare him to Jimmy Butler, which if that's the case, Jimmy Butler had good success in Minnesota before him and Andrew Wiggins kind of discreet personality-wise. I think it's a good move. 7, Coby White to the Bulls. Now, that's interesting because when I saw Coby White, he shot the 3-ball phenomenally. He looks like a guy ready for the NBA. When I was reading about him entering the draft, all I saw was complaining about his length. Now, I'm not saying you want short guys out there. No, if you can get a tall athlete, if you can get like a Kevin Durant athlete for a superstar, you take him. LeBron, you take him. I think Clay has a very good length on him too. I don't really see as big of an issue though as other people because he can hit the three ball. I saw him hit it in college all the time. Does that mean he's going to hit in the NBA? Maybe not. Maybe he's a JJ Redick, and JJ Redick's a very serviceable player. But outside the top 5, we rarely see any of these guys hit. Why not take a shot at a guy who the NBA is moving towards? The NBA is moving towards a 3-ball league. Why not take a shot on him? And now the 8th pick, which was originally owned by the Hawks and still technically is owned by the Hawks till the trade goes through, but will be playing in New Orleans next year, Jackson Hayes, center, Texas. I don't really know much to think about the deal. I don't know much on Hayes. I don't know much on him as a player, as a prospect. I really did not read that much up on him. I know he's a center. I know he's 6'10". I know he weighs 218. And from what I've been able to tell since he got drafted, he's a good athlete. Should be good for them. I'm not going to really ridicule them or compliment them because I don't know. Number 9, guy I do know and a guy I actually really like the pick. Rui Hachimura. Now, first guy drafted in the first round from Japan. Congrats. That's a pretty big accomplishment. The reason why I like Hachimura is because he can shoot the 3. You got Bradley Beal and Hachimura. Now, I'm a Bradley Beal guy. I love Bradley Beal. Hachimura can get some eyes off of him. If he can get that 3-ball going at the NBA level. If he can space out the floor for when John Wall eventually comes back from his injury. And if they can maybe add someone in free agency. I'm not going to say they're going to go out there and get like a Jimmy Butler or just anyone else. Julius Randle would be a good fit. I'm not going to say they're going to go get anyone because I don't really know what the Wizards' plan is because they don't have a GM yet. I know, they did the draft with no GM. I think they're waiting for Masai Ujiri, if I'm saying that name right. I hope so. Probably wrong, though. Decision on Toronto, and I saw they've offered him ownership claim and all that. They're risking a lot here. If this is the guy that Ujiri wanted, then great. But if not, we're going to have some issues here in the future. The 10th pick, Cam Reddish. This is why I love the Hawks process, because they take these guys who are athletic, who's got length, and they just go, yeah, why not? We got Trae Young. We got the guy who's maybe a bit shorter, but can still shoot the 3-ball exceptionally well. So what do? We go out and we get these athletes that can drive. We can make sure that Trae's got all the space in the world to shoot him. John Collins is one of my favorite players to watch. I really like DeAndre Hunter. I really like Cam Reddish. Am I going to say they're going to be as helpful as John Collins? No, because I haven't seen him play in the NBA game. But on paper, I like this move a lot. The 11th pick. Now, I don't have anything positive to say about this, really. So if you're a Phoenix Suns fan, skip. I'm advising that. Cameron Johnson. First of all, 23 years old. Will be 27 by the time his rookie deal's up. Yeah. I think Anthony Davis is just 2 years older than him. Trying to think of something nice to say, I can't. He's got a decent 3-ball, but I don't get, he's got the best 3-point shot in the draft. Every time I watch Cameron Johnson play, and I didn't watch him in North Carolina that much. I watched him play at Pitt. I didn't see anything special in him. I didn't. I didn't see anything that said, yeah, he's a first-round pick. Now, would I have been fine if he was a later pick? Yeah. But at 11, no. I'm not going to ridicule him too bad because I could be wrong, and he still is going to be having a lot of media attention. He's got some good teammates. Overall, I think the Suns have some decent young players. I'm just not sold on this draft pick. Up next, PJ Washington at 12. Like the pick. I like Washington. I think he was a decent player at Kentucky. Don't really know much to dive into it because the Hornets, The only interesting part to talk about the Hornets is Kemba Walker and where he's going to go. And that will be something I talk about next week when he's probably already signed or is looking to sign somewhere. 13, Tyler Hero from Kentucky. Now this guy I can talk about because I am a Florida Gator fan. When I saw him play the Gators, just came on the field. Second half, is hitting everything he saw. I was mad. As a fan, I hated seeing him play against my team. He's a great player, and I think the Heat stole one. Let's say if the Suns drafted him, I would have been happy for them. I would have been like, put him at the point. I don't care if he's not a natural one. You put him and Devin Booker out there, just going to rain threes. I love the pick. And the last pick of the lottery is Romeo Langford. I can't guarantee I said that name right, but I'm going to say it's correct. Based off the spelling, I'm going to say it's correct. Now, I read he's a small forward, 6'4". He'll probably be a shooting guard. You can't be a 6'4" small forward in the NBA, let alone they have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Don't really think they're going to play him small forward. The Celtics are very good at drafting. Now, will this pick pan out? I don't know. I've read that he was originally even as high as a top 5 pick before the season started, just kind of had a mediocre year, still entered the draft, got picked 14, still going to make some good money. Do I know enough about him to talk about him that much? No, and that's why I'm going to cut it short. Now, there's one more player I want to talk about before we go to the NHL draft. And I am going to butcher his name, but I really like him. And I can't explain why, but just someone I just like. Sekou Doumbouya, a small forward from France, drafted by the Pistons at 15 overall. I like him. And I don't know why, because I couldn't tell you what his specialties are. I've only seen highlights. And I just have fallen in love with him as a player. I don't know if it's because I see something special or if it's just because I am dead wrong. But he is someone I'm going to keep my eye closely on with the Pistons as they kind of go a bit contending, but they're going to try and rebuild a bit still. Because they did trade John Leuer for the Bucks first round pick as well. So the part I want to talk about the NHL draft, it's not really the whole entire draft, because I don't know players that well. I don't scout hockey players. That's not my specialty, and I'll admit that straight up. But I want to talk about the New Jersey Devils, the team that had the number 1 overall pick. Their stock rose this past week. Draft Jack Hughes, who I know, even I don't watch like young hockey development. I don't watch college. I don't watch I'm blanking off what it's called, but the minor leagues kind of in Canada. I don't watch that. But I know enough to know this guy to deserve to be the first pick and will very well probably be their first line center by the end of the year. But why do I think the Devils stock rose? Because they trade for PK Subban. Now, if they didn't give up that much, but they absorbed a big cap hit. But why do I want to talk about PK Subban? It's simple. He has declined. There's no doubt about it. He's not with what Nashville wanted. Was Montreal right when they traded him? No, because he's still a good player. Nashville almost won Stanley Cup with him. So maybe there is something with that personality thing. Maybe it's because they failed. Or maybe it's because the Predators, their cap struck, and they needed to move him. The Devils were like, yeah, we have some cap space. Why don't we take him? They got a good player. Now, why do I think this helps boost them? It's plain simple. They lacked confidence last year. They lacked it. PK Subban is confidence. You watch him, he's confident. Even if he's doing bad, if he's on a bad streak, he looks confident. That's something you need in the locker room for the Devils. Do I say they win the Stanley Cup? No. Do I think they make the Eastern Conference Finals? No. But I think they make the playoffs. I think they do a good job. This team still has Taylor Hall, who was the MVP a couple years ago, who can still play, who's still a light-out scorer every time he gets the puck. I think this is a good move because PK will help bring in something that they missed last year. And you can see that when they played. they were making stupid mistakes that it's just mental. And that's all sports is a mental game. Now, it will be interesting to watch Jack Hughes. Yes, Nico Hischier, first overall pick a couple years ago. He will probably be fighting for the first line center. I think Hughes is going to be overall the better player, but that's not going to be a bad 1-2 punch for future years to come. But that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed pretty much me talking mainly about the NBA draft and a little bit about the New Jersey Devils.